Hey YouTube. The first thing that I wanted to kind of make a video about was my miscarriage experiences. Like I said before, I've had 2 miscarriages. One of them was when I was in college, before I had Gracie, before I was married. I was dating my husband at that time, and I had no idea I was pregnant. I was actually going to a Christian college, so it's kind of hard to really talk to anybody about it. When it happened, I was working at a hotel. I was at work. Was getting really bad cramps and having, bleeding a lot. And I really just thought it was just a bad period. Like, I didn't think anything of it. The pain was pretty bad, but I still had to go to work. So when it happened, I was at work. There was a coworker there with me who was a really close friend at that time. I literally had to call her into the restroom and ask her what was going on, because when it happened, I was in shock. I can't even explain it. I blanked out when it happened. It didn't feel real. So my friend took me to the hospital, and it was confirmed that I did have a miscarriage. The doctor told me that I was about a month pregnant, and he really couldn't tell me why it happened or anything. I didn't really know anything about miscarriages. I mean, I heard about them, but I wasn't really, I never really knew anybody who had a miscarriage, or at that time I didn't think I knew anybody. And so he gave me papers with information and just kind of explaining what a miscarriage was. And in parentheses, it said miscarriage on the top. And then in parentheses, it said spontaneous abortion. And those words just kind of jumped out of the page, and I was just it just, man, it made me feel bad. I just felt, I was shocked. And I really, really had a hard time with that miscarriage. Like I said, I was at a Christian college, so I really couldn't tell anybody about it, or I felt like I couldn't tell anybody about it because I thought, they would judge me or I'd get kicked out or something. But the guilt and just not talking to anybody about it, just caused me to get really depressed. I was away from family, and I missed a lot of my classes. I was sleeping a lot. A lot of my friends noticed the differences. One of my teachers, she was an advisor, and one of my professors, she asked me about it one day when I went late to English class, and I just broke down, and I told her what had happened. And I was so scared to tell her because I thought I was going to get kicked out, and I had worked so hard to get, to where I was. And she didn't judge me. She didn't say anything bad. She just gave me a big hug, and she told me that that she had been through the same thing that had happened to her. And it just made me feel so much better to know that I wasn't the only one, that there were other women out there that that were feeling the same thing that I was feeling at that time. And she even told me that she had never told anybody about it, and she's an older lady. And because of that, just because of the guilt and just the feelings, and she really helped me a lot. So when it happened, I let my husband know. Well, he was my boyfriend at the time, and it ripped him apart as well. Men kind of deal with things differently than women do, and it caused a little bit of problems in our relationship. But eventually, I got pregnant a year later. And I think it was like in the summer. I was about to be a junior. And we weren't married at the time, not yet. And the pregnancy was going pretty well, no problems up until I think I was about maybe 2 months, almost 3 months, and I started bleeding. I was at work as well. At that time, I was working at a children's shelter, and we normally take them out on little outings. And so when it happened, I didn't have my car. We just had our big van. And I couldn't get a hold of my boyfriend, my husband. And I ended up having to call an ambulance to take me to the hospital. And I went to the hospital. I was still bleeding. I remember just all the blood. And my husband's parents, they were visiting, and they went to the hospital. Taryn eventually went to the hospital. That's my husband's name, Taryn. And they couldn't figure out what it was. The baby was fine, Gracie. She was fine. There was, didn't seem like anything was going to happen. But they did tell me just, to go home. And if it's a miscarriage, it's a miscarriage. There was nothing that I can do to stop it. But just to rest and relax and stay calm. So eventually I went home. The bleeding stopped, and then it started again. But I found out that I had kidney stones, so that was the reason why I was bleeding. So Gracie made it. She's going to be 3 in February. She's a fireball, but she's so smart. She's really tall. She looks like a 4-year-old. My husband is, he's like 6'4". So he's pretty tall, so she's pretty tall. So after we had Gracie, I didn't get on any birth control. I was breastfeeding, so I thought that was, that was going to work as a birth control method. And it did for the most part. When Gracie was about, I'm going to say maybe like 8-9 months, maybe 8 months. Yeah, it had to be 8 months. I found out I was pregnant. It wasn't planned. And my husband and I were already married. We got married in November of 2008. And Gracie was born February 24th, 2009. And so this pregnancy was not planned. We were excited about it. I actually found out I was pregnant while Taryn and I were visiting his parents in Alabama. We had already moved to Georgia when Gracie was about 6 months. And when we told his parents, they weren't too excited. Just because I had just had Gracie, and we were a young family, kind of struggling financially, and kind of didn't, wasn't the right timing for another child, but, what could we do? We were excited. When I told my parents, same thing. They were happy, but they were just like, oh, it was a little too soon, which kind of made me a little sad to know that they were happy, but, they're parents. And so I was able to go and hear the heartbeat. I went to like a pregnancy center. They give you a free pregnancy test, and then they give you like a free, appointment where they'll, let you hear the heartbeat and so on and so forth. And so when I went, they couldn't find the heartbeat. And so they set up an appointment for me to go to the hospital and to see if they can find the heartbeat vaginally, like a vaginal sonogram or something like that. I don't know. So when they did that, I think they were able to find the heartbeat. There was no problems at that time, but I had to go back. I think I had to go back to the hospital because I was bleeding. And it wasn't a lot of bleeding, but it was spotting. So I just told my husband, I need to go. I think at that time I was probably about 2 months, around there. And I go to the hospital, they check me, and while the lady that was doing the sonogram was checking me, she stopped, walked out of the room, brought somebody back in. They were talking about something, and I was just kind of laying there like, what is going on? And the other lady left, and then she looked at me and told me that I wasn't just having one baby, that there was 2 babies in there, but that she couldn't find the heartbeats. But they had seen growth since the last sonogram, so they told me just not to worry about it. Since there was twins in there, it's kind of hard to find the heartbeats since there's 2 heartbeats. And the doctor that saw me reassured me and just, let me know that everything was fine. The nurse was really sweet, and we left really happy because we were having twins. And I think about a week later, I was rocking my daughter Gracie to sleep, and I was bleeding again. My husband had to go to work really early, and I had got Gracie to sleep. The cramping was unbearable, and I kind of knew what was going on. So I just tried to stay strong. I woke up my husband and I told him that I needed to go to the hospital, because when I had went to the restroom, I had lost one. And I told him I would just go by myself because I didn't want him to miss work, or I didn't want to wake up my daughter Gracie. So I got in my car and I called my dad. It was really late, and I woke him up, and I just I told him what was going on, and I just asked him to pray with me that that the other baby would be safe, and that this baby would make it. I had so many mixed emotions, and just kind of like, again, why is this happening to me again? Like, why am I a bad person? What did I do wrong? And so my dad stayed on the phone with me until I got to the hospital, and I was admitted. They just had me laying down, and the bleeding just got really bad. Before I even saw a doctor, I went to the restroom and I lost the other one. It was really, really bad feeling to have your babies just ripped out of you. And there was nothing you could do to keep them in there and keep them alive. There's just nothing. I stood there in that restroom, just holding the baby, and I didn't know what to do. I just felt so terrible. I felt so alone. I felt like it was my fault, like I did something wrong. Maybe if I didn't yell or I don't know. It was just a really ugly feeling, and to find out a week before that we were having twins, and then just to have them taken away. It was terrible. It was a terrible feeling. And I saw the doctor. He made sure that everything was clear. And he had confirmed that they had both passed. And that I could go home and just let the process, the rest of the miscarriage process, go on. They prescribed me pain pills, and I had to go home, and had to wake up the next day and put a big smile on my face for my daughter. Because she was so little, she didn't know anything that happened, and she could never comprehend, even now, what had happened. But I really had to stay strong for her and for my husband, because my husband took it really hard as well, because he was so excited that we were going to have twins, So I had to call everyone that we just told a week before that I lost them. And part of me was just like, is my family relieved? They weren't really happy about it in the first place. I had a hard time. Very depressed. Slept as much as I could, but really couldn't because I had my daughter Gracie. And so about a month and a half later, I had my first appointment, just like a checkup. And I had to talk to the doctors about birth control. We decided we needed to let my body rest. And so that was my appointment. I went in there, and they always make you pee in a cup. So I peed in a cup just like I normally do. And my feet are falling asleep. Sorry. Okay. And the nurse came in, kind of, not with a smile, but just kind of looking at me. And she told me that they always do pregnancy tests on all the women that go to their appointments. And she told me that I was either pregnant or that my pregnancy hormones were still really high. And she wanted to do a sonogram to see what was going on. They took blood tests. Eventually I did have a sonogram done, and it was confirmed that I was pregnant again. Yeah. You can't believe the emotions that I was feeling. Happiness. I was scared to death, because I told myself, I can't have another miscarriage. I don't know what it's going to do to me if I have another miscarriage.
You saw the acorn.
Yeah. Go play over there with your sister.
Okay.
Thank you. And I called my husband when I was driving home, and I told him, and he was shocked. We were both shocked because we don't really remember how it could have happened. I was really depressed, so I don't even remember, making the baby. But I was pregnant, and it was confirmed. And I didn't have any problems with that pregnancy. I was so scared, though. I didn't want to even move. I felt like if I moved, I would do something wrong, or I don't know. I mean, it was a scary, scary pregnancy. I walked in a lot of fear. And I don't think I had any bleeding or anything.
Mama.
Made it to, you know, the end of my first trimester.
Boat.
And,
Mama. Boat.
oh no. I'll get you another one right now, okay? I'm almost done. And, we had a good pregnancy, you know, she made it. And let's hope. We named her Hope because she gave us lots and lots of hope just to keep on going. She doesn't know that yet, but eventually when she gets older, I will share maybe this video with her and just let her know. Here she is. Hope, say hi.
Hi. Hi.
That's my Hope. She's crazy. And so, I had her in September 29th, 2010. And when I had her, it was hard. It was like my mind, in a way, was expecting 2 babies to come out. I had a hard time attaching myself to her because I was scared of losing her. I took care of her, you know, I nursed her, I did everything, but I just, like, the attachment was barely there. And it made me feel really bad as a mother, because I love my daughter, but I was missing my twins. And so I went to my doctor and I told her about the feelings, and I was diagnosed with postpartum depression. They did give me an antidepressant. I don't remember what it was, but I took it for maybe about 3 months, 3-4 months. And then weaned myself off of it. But it helped a lot. It helped with my feelings. And it helped me a lot, the antidepressant. But I didn't feel like I needed to continue taking it. But I was still really depressed.
I'll color the balloon.
Yeah, you can color the balloon. Sorry. I've still been depressed. I just kind of feel this guilt because I feel like when I have the days where I'm missing my twins and thinking about them, I feel like I'm not appreciating my daughter Hope's life. If I would have had my twins, I would have never had Hope.
Make a happy face.
And so that's still something that I deal with. It's not as bad. It's been 2 years since I miscarried. But the wounds are still very new. Like I had said before in my intro video, I live in Georgia. My family, they're all in Texas, and I don't have a lot of friends here. A little bit of friends, and most of everybody knows that I had miscarried. And I've had several people come to me or Facebook me, and women that have shared with me their story that they don't normally like to talk about because it's painful. I tried going to a group, but it was really hard. I just wasn't ready for it. It was called Grief Share, and I went for a little bit, and the people there were awesome, but I just wasn't ready for it. I haven't really talked to very many people about it. They know that I've had a miscarriage, but I've never really kind of expressed the story or anything.
Spider.
Oh, cool. Yeah. But I'm hoping that with this channel, there'll be other women that'll see my story and share with me their story, and vice versa. Because like I said, there were nights when I just could not go to sleep. After I had Hope, I just wanted to watch her and Gracie. Like, I was just so scared of losing them. And it still happens to me at night. I just want to go check on them, just make sure they're still breathing. I don't know if that's normal, but it's something that I still feel.
Mommy.
I know that the pain is never going to go away, but I know that it'll get better. And I really, really would like to help other women that are hurting, that have suffered miscarriages, multiple miscarriages. I would really like to be a part of that, to just helping in the healing process, because I've felt very alone. And I'm just now starting to feel better this year. But yeah, that's my story. I may get into it a little bit more. If, like I said, if you are looking at this video and you feel the hurt that I feel, doesn't matter how old you are, comment, leave me a message. Let's do this together. You don't want to do it alone. It's gonna tear you up inside. And tell someone. That's helped me a lot, being able to share. And this is a long video, and I apologize, and my babies are kind of all over the place, but I really wanted to share my story, and I'm just hanging in there. I have my 2 daughters, and I just need to stay strong for them, for my husband, and I know one day I'll see them, all 3 of them. And if you look at my channel, the background, the flowers on there, they're forget-me-nots. It's kind of my dedication to them for this channel. Eventually I want to get a tattoo, maybe somewhere on my foot, or I don't know, somewhere, of forget-me-nots. I don't know what color. It might just be black and white, because I don't know if they were boys, girls, I don't know. But so yeah, I thought that was really cool. Okay, it's going on about to be 30 minutes. Wow, that's a long time. All right, I'm gonna stop now. And thank you guys for watching this video.
Bye-bye.
That was really hard, but I'm glad I did it. Bye.